What's up, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Trail Blogger. Today we got something a little bit different for you guys. We've got a utility quad to work on. This is a 2010 Yamaha Grizzly 450 utility ATV. I picked this up and a parts bike just like it for $1,000. So I got two quads for the price of one. The other quad is pretty much just a parts vehicle because it's been hit by a car. The frame was bent, looks like the exhaust is bent in half, and the case is actually damaged. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to save the blue one, but this camo one, so I think this one might be a potential to get trail worthy again someday. I'm going to wash it and give it a good inspection first, see what kind of damage I can find, and with any luck maybe I'll be able to get this thing back on the trails again. I already got some basic maintenance items like oil, an oil filter, and some carb cleaner because I know that's just going to need that. I've got the air filter ordered, and I've got a couple other things that I might order depending on how things go. So let's take a closer look at the Grizzly 450 and see what we find. Okay, so the first thing about the 450 that I noticed is that the seat's going to need to be repaired. You can see the seat cover looked like it ripped, and then the foam all around here is starting to fall off, so I'm going to need to get that taken care of, get the seat fixed. That shouldn't be too big of a problem. I do have some leftover black vinyl and some blue vinyl there I could use. It's marine vinyl, and I could recover it. I'll fill this in with some foam that I have kind of laying around from a different project. Fill that all in and then recover it. The other thing I noticed it's missing, doesn't really affect the way it runs, but it is missing the side cover that goes right here in addition to the side cover on the other side. Not really critical. If I can get this thing running and it seems like it's going to be trail worthy again, I'll probably get the side cover just to kind of give it that cosmetic complete feel. I already got done digging a bunch of shells out of here. There was some leftover ammunition that they had left in there, so I went ahead and dug all that out of there. And looks like the front bumper has been damaged. It's missing the bumper on this side, but the parts one has it all there, so I may take the plastic part off the front bumper. I think this is actually a winch mount right here. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they had two different models. One was the Kodiak, one was the Grizzly. This is the Grizzly because it's got the camo color to it. And I believe this is a winch mount that was included on the Grizzly. So this is an automatic. It's got a low, high, neutral, reverse, and park. Those are the gears there. And then it's got a pull start, which is really cool. It's got a pull start backup. Feels like it still works and everything. Dash up here. Low, high, neutral, park, reverse again. Meter in there too to tell you how far you've gone on the trip. It is missing the air filter inside of here, so I went ahead and ordered one off of Rocky Mountain ATV. That's already shipped out. It should be here tomorrow or the next day. I went ahead and ordered a new starter because, as I'll show you guys, when I try and start it, it really does draw a lot of juice. Even off of a car battery, it can barely turn over. So sometimes that's a sign that the battery's getting weak. Sometimes it's a sign that the starter's getting weak. So in this case, I'm just going to throw a new starter on there. The starter for this was only $40 on Rocky Mountain ATV. So I decided to go ahead and just order one of those. Other than that, though, it looks pretty good. This is pretty dirty back here. You can tell it's been through some pretty deep ponds and muck and that kind of thing. It's got, pond muck wrapped around the axle clear up to there. So I'll probably check all the differential fluids and everything. Check all the seals, make sure that it's not, it doesn't have any swamp water in the differential. I did notice that one of the boots in the front was starting to crack a little bit. These boots back here seem okay. I may replace any boots, though, that I see look like they need to be repaired. But other than that, I'm not really seeing a lot right now. I'll know more after I try and get it running and get it started. Oil over here, some 1040 4-stroke oil. I got a oil filter. This is the K&N 303. New spark plug, DR8EA, NGK DR8EA. I got some carbon choke cleaner for obvious reasons. I plan on cleaning the carb. I will order a carb kit if it needs it. But for now, I'm going to try just cleaning it out, inspect the carb, and see if anything inside of there needs to be repaired or if it's just full of dirt.
it's been through a swamp or something. I see some melted wire right there. Or what that's all about. I'll have to figure out where that goes up to, but I can see a melted wire right here. Wonder why that melted. There's something right there. Well, I'll have to figure out what that's all about. So what I'm after is actually right there. Alright, I got the front of the quad jacked up and laying down on the left side of the vehicle. Driver's side, I guess you would say, if you're in the US. This is the spot for the screen. And back here, this is the screen and this is the drain right here. So we're going to do the drain first and then we'll do the screen after that. There's just so much stuff stuck under this skid plate. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull it. I missed a lot of stuff when I was pressure washing it. And it might be able to help me tell where those melted wires are going and coming from. It's really odd that would be melted like that. Don't really like seeing stuff like that. Fires are not good. But I got a couple bolts here I got to try and get out. There's one here and one over there. And then there's these two up here, which were pretty stuck before. So see if I can get those out. But yeah, I got to get this oil changed. It looked pretty bad. Alright, so that's what's left of the skid plate. It basically came off in about 20 pieces. All these weeds and stuff fell out the bottom that I missed when I was pressure washing it. And I was able to get the two bolts in the front loose that were stuck on before when I was pressure washing it. So now I can finish pulling this front skid plate off and get all the rest of the stuff that was stuck up underneath there. And I can see it used to have a rear skid plate, it looks like, but it's been completely ripped off. And I know it looks pretty bad, but really, considering the skid plate was missing, it's not too bad down here. I'm not seeing any like holes in the tubing or huge cracks or anything, which is what I was kind of afraid of when I saw that the skid plate was missing. But it really doesn't look actually that bad. Maybe give it a little touch-up paint. Replace a few of the bushings here and there if any of them are bad, and get some penetrating fluid. Did find this melted wire right here, and it looks like another wire over there is melted, so I'll have to figure out what happened. Maybe one of them rubbed through and then that caused some sort of a short through the system, but I'm gonna have to make sure to go through all the wiring and the wiring harness and check for any other shorts before I ride it. Alright, so this is where the screen is at, and then back here is your drain bolts. We're going to do the drain bolt first. This is a 22 millimeter, and the one in the front here where the screen's at, I believe it's a 19. So we're going to need a 22 millimeter and 19. So the dipstick that was in it. I guess it got super hot or something happened, but it's like breaking at the end there. And then here's the one I went and got out of the parts Kodiak, the blue Kodiak. So I'm going to use that dipstick for now. And got the drain plug all cleaned up, and I got the screen and the spring all cleaned up, ready to put that back in. Goes back in like that, all nice and clean, and get those all put back in and fill it up with some oil. Alright, looks like I got my order from Rocky Mountain ATV, and here is the new air filter element. This is the new air filter cage, and I got a new starter as well. And these are both OEM parts, Yamaha, and then this starter here was only 40 bucks. This is a knockoff starter, so we'll see how well that works. But for $40, I got a backup plan if the starter that's on there is worn out. But alright, so with the tank off, now you can see the carburetor really well. You can see we've got a throttle line coming in the side here, and we've got the choke line coming in this side over here. We've got a vent line here, and it doesn't look like it's attached to the crankcase breather hose there. So the main things from here that we need to do to get it to loosen up: intake there, this other intake hose here, disconnect this hose from here, the choke line right there, and then the throttle line right there. So I think the first thing I'm going to go after is the choke line and the throttle line. This one just unscrews on this side for the choke, and this one has some Phillip heads over here. So I need a Phillips screwdriver, and it looks like about a 10 or a 12 millimeter. So I'll grab my wrenches, Phillips screwdriver, and a little Allen head for
I know it's really loud in here. I got the truck over here. I was able to jump start it and get it to run though. You can hear it is running. It's actually running really smoothly. No smoke coming out there. And no smoke here either. It seems to be running really well. Brand new starter, but I had to use the truck to jump start it. So I really don't know what to think of it right now. See what happens if I turn the choke off. Then it dies immediately. And then it won't start. Alright, so I shut the truck off and disconnected the cables. If you guys listen now, it sounds like it's running really well. Coming out here, you can see there's some oily residue coming out there. Still no smoke here, but it is smoking pretty good now. I don't know if that's smoke or if that's coolant. That's actually steam and not oil now. Got something shooting out there. Alright, so you can see the moment I put the air filter. It just dies as soon as I put the airbox lid on because I think there's so much blow by. I don't know if it's blow by or actually, look, you can see it now. It's like white coolant. This thing is toast. I mean, you can see it's kind of a oil mixed with coolant, and so it's turning kind of a milky color. Hasn't really done it yet, but eventually the oil will just turn into this like milk color. Trying to drive it more like that, it's only going to keep making it worse. I would say the head gasket blew. They probably sunk it, overheated it somewhere, and the engine's blown now. So I can basically take the engine out of the blue one and put it in this, or order a new top end for this one and try and figure out where it was having the problem. Bad day for the Grizzly, because now I got to decide if it's worth it to try and fix it or flip it. So I'm not sure, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Should we save the Grizz or should we sell the Grizz and just get another one? At this point, with all these parts and everything, I'm about $1,200 into it. Now the other thing I could do is there's a wiped out Kodiak sitting out there. I could take the Kodiak, take the head off of that, swap it over to this and see how it runs. The top end, new seal kit, maybe only costs $50. More time though, because I have to disassemble the other to get the top off of it, and we don't even know for sure if it's still good. Alright guys, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Usually I always try and save these old Yamahas, get them back on the trail if it's you know, if it makes sense to do so, but with this one, it's a little far gone. It's going to definitely need a top end. You know, the rest of it isn't exactly looking that great either. I'd like to get it going again. I do really want a quad like this just to kind of add for recoveries and for just, you know, general exploring and that kind of thing. I feel like this is a nice quiet rig with a long range that could really scope out the new trails, the new sections, and see what they're like. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Should I try and save the Grizz, guys, or should I just flip it and get a new project? Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that bell icon and subscribe. Thanks for watching Trail Blogger. I'll see you guys next time.